ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ आश्वलायनः। भगवन्तं परमेष्ठिनम् उपसमेत्य उवाच अधीहि भगवन् ब्रह्मविद्यां वरिष्ठां सदा सद्भिः सेव्यमानां निगूढाम् यया चिरात् सर्वपापं व्यपोह्य परात्परं पुरुषं याति विद्वान्। We have seen all of this up till now, except for one word, Purusha. Purusha, even though in a number of vernacular languages is seen to mean the word man, it has nothing to do with man. It has two derivations grammatically. One is Purau Ushati. By this one is lived in the city. So the indweller of the city is called Purusha. What city? City is more like a citadel, and I just love it when the Upanishads converge. Puram ekadashadvaram ajasra ajasya avakrachetasah. Where have we heard this? Which chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Kathopanishad. So just now the verse, we just finished that verse, just the first one of the section we are on. Puram ekadashadvaram, the 11-gated citadel. And so it's a fort in the sense that you can go in, but you can't come out on your own free will. And so like this, so Purau Ushati or Purishete, Purishayanat Purushaha, the one who sleeps in the city, another derivation, same meaning. Sleep means what? Sleeping the sleep of ignorance. What kind of ignorance? Self-ignorance. What other kind is there? Self-ignorance. Sleeping the sleep of self-ignorance, one is in this citadel of this body-mind-sense complex, thinking it to be myself, thinking it to be finite, thinking it to be total, and then coming to grief because of identifying and associating only with this body-mind-sense complex, much like the time for props, much like the pot, not the pot, but the space inside the pot. Pot space thinks, I am not free. It keeps going like this. I want to become one with the whole whole space. So, just like that, it's deluded. The pot space is deluded and it needs a space guru, not spaced out guru, okay? It needs a space guru to tell it what? You are space, you are not pot space. Pot is in you, you are not in pot. That's what it needs to be told. And in the same way, the jiva is called Purusha, sleeping because of the sleep of ignorance, and because of the sleep of ignorance has nightmares of samsara. This is the jiva. First derivation of the word Purusha. The second derivation of the same word Purusha, Sarvan Purayati iti Purusha, the one that fills up everything, like a body of water. Water flows, and if it encounters a hole, what will it do? It will fill that up. It will fill up everything. And so, this second derivation of the Purusha is the one that is filling up everything. Purnatvat Purusha, coming from the word pru, to fill. Sarvan Purayati Purnatvat Purusha, that which is whole. So the first Purusha refers to who? Yours truly. Okay. And the second Purusha refers to who? Ishvara. And if you say Purushaf Purusha, if you put both the Purushas side by side, then it becomes a Mahavakya. How many Purushas are there? One. So one Purusha is there, but it is supposedly seen as two. Because of the sleep of ignorance, this one Purusha is seen as two. So therefore here, Parat Param Purusham, the Purusha that is beyond the Maya of ignorance, beyond the Maya of creation, the one that, the one the person identifies with after this knowledge. O revered Bhagavan, please teach me. Now the teacher could have said, go, or like the teacher in some other Upanishad, like the teacher in the Chandogya Upanishad, 8th chapter, when Indra goes to Prajapati, what happens? Stays in his ashram, and then afterwards comes for instruction, because there is along with Indra, there is also Virochana. Who is Virochana? The king of the demons, Rakshasas. So, naturally Prajapati doesn't want to teach. Why will he teach with this fellow sitting there? And so he just misleads them by saying, oh gentlemen, you want to look at the Atma? Look at this wonderful vat of water. He gets a big vat of water, and they all look at their own reflection thinking it's the Atma, and both of them go away. Because Indra has a sattvic nature and he has a lot of punya, he comes back. When he comes back and he says, wait a minute, if there is a movement in the water, that means my reflection also moves. That means the Atma moves. This I have been had. This is not correct. Atma is Nischala, Achala. What happened here? And then what is he told? Wait for 33 years. When is going to be the next class? Or maybe a satsang? 33 years. 33 years he waits, doing seva there. And then after that, puts vibhuti and takes a bath, puts vibhuti, comes, he's very happy. 33 years ke baad, one class is coming after 33 years, yippee. And then the class is shorter than the opening prayer and the closing prayer combined. Yeah. Om Sahana Bhavatu, etc., etc. And then he says, what? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam. What? I have a question. After 33 years. Like this. So here, Ashvalayana had many choices. Brahmaji had many choices. He could have done that, or he could have been like the teacher Pippalada in the Prashnopanishad. 6 students come to Pippalada, the teacher in the Prashnopanishad, and say the same thing. Please teach us this. We have lots of questions. And the teacher says, time for questions is after 1 year of staying with me in the Gurukula. No questions before that. So after 1 year, their questions are addressed. So here also the teacher had many choices, or the teacher could have simply said, I don't feel like teaching, go. Looking at you, I'm not inspired to teach at all. Please go. But the teacher saw that there is a certain radiance, the radiance of enquiry, the radiance of just that jignasa. It is there. There is Brahma Varchas, Tejas. And so that radiance, that luster, he is able to see. He is able to see that Ashvalayana is prepared, and then he answers. Tasmai saho vacha pitamahascha Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogad Avaihi. And even then, he does not give the knowledge right away. He also, even though this Ashvalayana is very prepared, he still gives him some inner preparatory methods. The inner preparatory methods are called Antaranga Sadhanani. Antaranga Sadhana. Inward preparation. And what is the example of that? Meditation. And having the right attitude, right values, this is all an inside job. And then what else? There is also outer preparation, how I am in society, because the two are connected. How I am inside is how I am in society, so both of them are connected. You can't say, I love outward sadhana, but I don't like inward sadhana, because each one feeds off the other. Each one rounds off the person. And so therefore, the outer sadhana is also important, and the outward sadhana practices for emotional maturity, which are outward facing, is called the karma yoga. The best example of a bahiranga sadhana, that is what it's called. Bahiranga sadhana is karma yoga. Growing up emotionally by not getting completely entrenched obsessed with the fruits of action. This is called Bahiranga Sadhana. And so he sees that Ashvalayana is prepared outwardly, but can do with some preparation inwardly. And so he gives 3 words which Ashvalayana should look for and look at the meaning of, and look at himself deeply and cultivate the meaning of these 3 words and make that a part of his life in order to gain this knowledge. So if Ashvalayana has to do that, what about all of us? We also need that. In fact, we probably need it much more than the sage Ashvalayana. So then he gives 3 pointers. The first one is what? Shraddha. Second one, Bhakti. Third one, Dhyanam. Each one we will take. Shraddha is, as we have already seen, I already talked about this a little bit in defining this in the last class. Shraddha is trust and faith, but not blind faith of something that is unverifiable. The Veda has 2 kinds of things. First one is things that is sadhya vastu, which is the first portion of the Veda is given to the pursuit of what is called sadhya vastu, to be gained things. Things which are to be gained is called sadhya. Sadhya vastu. Like what all are the things people want? Money, sadhya vastu. Why? Because I don't have it. I have to get it. And then what is it? This thing, wealth, definitely. And then long life. I don't know if I have it. So better to be on the safe side and pray for it and do a few homas. Ayushya homa, Mrityunjaya homa, all these things I have to do. Sadhya vastu. Then what else? I have to also reserve a place in the afterlife. Because once I go, where will I be? What will happen to me? So I have to do arakshanam, means reservation, because in heaven etc. there is no tatkal. Tatkal means immediate quota. If you suddenly want to go, there will be a few seats on the train and you just book immediately and go. That you cannot get crash heaven like that. No tatkal. You have to prepare by doing good works here, meritorious works which give punya. You have to keep doing, keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. And so therefore what? So that is also, heaven is sadhya vastu or not? Yes. Any kind of loka. All we have 7 heavens. So all these 7 heavens are to be gained, sadhya vastu. And also on earth, so many things one wants children. There is a yajna for that. And some other people want to give away the children they have. There is a yajna for that. Whatever you want, it's all sadhya vastu. Sadhya vastu vishaya is the topic of the first portion of the Veda. The second portion of the Veda also has a subject matter, which is you. Are you sadhya? No. What are you? Siddha vastu. I am already siddha. Siddha means already present, already established. What kind of siddha? Svatas siddha. Self-evident vastu. Self-standing vastu. Self-luminous vastu. So therefore the gain of the I as Satchidanandam Brahma, as Param Brahma, is an as though gain. There is no real gain. What gain is there? Where is the gain? No gain. No gain, no pain in pursuing the Atma. So because the gain is not real, it's an as though gain, separated from me, not by space, nor by time, but by ignorance. Ignorance being the separating factor, knowledge is the antidote, and so therefore it is Siddha Vastu Vishaya. So now the first portion of the Veda, the subject matter is what? Sadhya Vastu. Second portion, Jnana Kanda, Siddha Vastu. So now, what am I pursuing? Siddha Vastu or Sadhya Vastu? Siddha Vastu. If this much is understood, then we can see the role of Shraddha. The whole Veda is based on Shraddha only. No Shraddha, no Veda. Oh, but Veda won't go anywhere. Veda won't go. Veda is there, but it will not speak to you. You are not a candidate for the Veda if you don't have Shraddha for the whole Veda. For the whole Veda, first portion and the last portion together is called Veda, and so the Shraddha is applied to both those kandas, both those portions. But the kind of Shraddha, the Shraddha is qualitatively different. When I have Shraddha towards Sadhya Vastu Vishaya, it is different than when I have Shraddha towards Siddha Vastu Vishaya. What is Sadhya Vastu Vishaya? Centered Shraddha look like? It's like, okay, Veda says there is a loka called Brahma Loka. It is the best, east or west. I want to go there. Therefore, I have Shraddha, trust. And what is the trust? Because the Veda says, I believe. And then the same Veda which says that there is Loka, there is Svarga, there is Indra Loka, Pitru Loka, the world of the ancestors, there is Brahma Loka, there are all these Ajana Jana Loka, and then so many, Yaksha Loka, Gandharva Loka, Kinnara Loka, all these lokas, various celestial lokas are there, and I believe, I have faith. And what kind of a faith it is? It is just blind faith. It is not, because nobody has gone there and come back. Who has gone there and come back? That you can interrogate. How was it? Is it really there? Did you have a good time? If they go to Cancun or some island, you can ask, how was the beach? What did you do? What are some things to see? Let me note them down, so that when I go with my friends, I can also enjoy just like you did. So tell me, what are those things? Can you do that with heaven? No. You won't find anybody, heaven returned, you won't find. America returned, England returned, yes. But heaven returned, you will not find. Why? Because even if you yourself have gone to heaven in the between last life and this life, there is a thick veil of Maya, forgetting. So you would have not even remembered what you encountered there. So the Veda becomes the first book which tells me about heaven and to which I have to cling if I want to go there. Similarly, if I want to have wealth, it will say, go do this, go do that, go feed some dogs, it says. And then like this. But what is the connection between me feeding the dog and then what? Going to heaven. Where do I feed the dog, in heaven or here? Here. Here I am feeding the dog, but how will it translate into heaven? Mystery. Therefore, the Shraddha is just that. It is just a total faith, total belief for something that is totally unverifiable. Unverifiable means, and then some verifiable ends. Sometimes unverifiable ends, verifiable means. Unknown ends, known means. This is all the first portion of the Veda. So the Shraddha has to be total, and the Shraddha has to be just a belief. There is no checking and corroboration. Okay, I have done this. Will I go to heaven? What is the guarantee you will go to heaven? And suppose even after death, you can't fight it out. You can't tell your Lord Yama, hey, I did 3 times this Nachiket Agni. You are taking me to the other side. And what will Yama say? Yeah, you did it, but you were very slipshod. You didn't do it properly. Yeah, you skimped on the ghee. You did not use enough ghee. You did not use enough dravyas. So there will always be some loophole. So like this is something which is this Shraddha for the first portion of the Veda, the blind Shraddha, I don't like to use the term, but total Shraddha, without asking questions, without really waiting for a corroboration, is what the first portion of the Veda wants. Why? Because it is a means of knowledge, independent means of knowledge, called pramana. What is the definition of a pramana? First, it has three things. It should have 3 things to fulfill the pramanatvam. First one, it should be whatever that pramana, the means of knowledge, reveals, should be anadhigata. Anadhigata means it should not be something that I can find out through other means of knowledge. Can I find out that there is a heaven through other means of knowledge? No. Oh, but I can read the Bible. Bible also in this case will become pramana. That's why it is seen as revealed. So it's pramana. And then can I find out from somebody else that heaven exists? No. I am not able to do that. Therefore, it is anadhigata. Whatever is given in the first portion of the Veda is anadhigata, not available for any means of knowledge. Same thing, the self is adhigata, but adhigata means available, but it is not known. Its nature is anadhigata. So the second portion of the Veda also is a pramana, because both are revealing something that is not known to me. I have partial knowledge of the I, but I do not know that this I is the master of the universe. I do not know this. And so therefore what? Therefore I have to study the Upanishad, I have to expose myself to the message of the Upanishad. So both the first portion of the Veda, the second portion of the Veda are what? Anadhigata. Therefore, it's a pramana. It reveals things that are anadhigata. Adhigata, known, anadhigata, not known except through the Veda. Veda includes Vedanta here. So then, that is the first definition of the pramana. What is the second definition? Arthavat. Arthavat means it should make sense. It should be meaningful. It should be meaningful. It should make sense. arthavat. Like for example, there is a statement in the Veda, Agnihi arodit. Lord Agni cried. Why did Lord Agni cry? We don't know. We don't know why he cried. But then you wonder why this statement is there. How is my life transformed if I know that Agni cried? Why should I bother? Then we understand a few things which is very, very interesting. What do we understand? Agni, see, when you cry, you have salt water as tears, okay? But Agni is an exalted being. When Lord Agni cries, it's molten silver. He cries tears of silver. Okay, still I am not enlightened as to why I should know this. Anadhikata, all right, but is it arthavat? Not yet. So what if Agni cries? So what if it is droplets of silver he sits and cries? I am not getting that silver, so why should I worry about it? What is it to do with me? But then we read the Veda further and we say, and it says, Tasmat barhishi rajatam nadeyam. Therefore, whenever you do a yajna, barhish means yajna, barhishi, in the yajna, don't give as a gift. Everyone gets a gift, and you give a little gift you give a big gift to all the pandits who have helped, and everybody who comes you give danam, you give a piece of something. And then you give a coconut, you give all these things, and you can give a gift also, depends on your how on your own means. Barhishi, in the yajna, as a gift, rajatam, silver, must not be given. Why? Because if you give silver as a gift, then you will have a chance to cry within the first year of doing the yajna. You see, now is it arthavat or not? It is arthavat. Otherwise, Agni cried, who cares? Why? Why should I know? Why is this like Vedic trivia? Agni cried, big deal. But here there is a connection to my own life and my own well-being. So if I am not to give silver, what should I give? Gold. The Veda makes sure that you have to pay for every desire you have. Why? You say, oh my God, I can't afford gold, so I am not going to do this. I am not going to do this ritual, and in fact I am going to grow out of it and go to the second portion of the Veda. That's why it makes you a pauper after doing these big homas. Putra kameshti yajna, not for the faint-hearted. You have to be a CEO of several companies in order to do this putra kameshti. What is putra kameshti? To have, for a childless couple to have children. This is the thing. So like this, these are all inbuilt to, like the process of growing out of the yajna is inbuilt into the first portion of the Veda. So anyway, coming back to pramana, it is arthavat, means whatever the Veda says is meaningful. Then the last criterion for calling something as a pramana is it should be phalabodhakam. Phalabodhakam means whatever it promises, it should give. Either now or when? Later, after the body drops. It will give. That's why I have to have Shraddha. So the third one is phalabodhakam. Phalabodhakam means it should deliver. So the first portion of the Veda delivers either right now or because there is the order of karma, or it is held in abeyance and then it is delivered later. And then the second portion of the Veda is also meaningful. Is it arthavat or not? Yes, it makes sense. That I suffer from ignorance, it tells me. Yes, it makes sense. You are Satchidananda. Yes, it makes sense. I want to be this Satchidananda. And then Phalabodhakam, it will deliver that you are Satchidananda because of the operation of the pramana instantly, not in the afterlife. So the first portion of the Veda is Pramana. The second portion of the Veda is also what? Pramana, because both the portions fulfill the three conditions for Pramanyam, for the status of being a Pramana. Both those, the Siddha Vastu and Sadhya Vastu, both of them, Sadhya Vastu and Siddha Vastu Vishaya, both of them fulfill the status of being Pramana. Now, what should be my attitude towards this Pramana, which is teaching me something, telling me something that I do not know, and I have no other way of finding out, that which is directly relevant to me, and that which will deliver the goods of what I want. What should be my attitude? Reverence, Shraddha, trust. I have to trust the Pramana, just like I trust my own eyes. So supposing I am at the road, on the road, and there is alas, a collision between two cars. Fortunately, let us say nobody gets hurt, but I have stood there and witnessed it. Soon the police come and they will ask, is anybody there who saw this accident? Because each of the drivers says, it's not my fault, it's the other fellow's fault, it's that one's fault, not my fault. And the police will not believe either of them. The police will come to me and say, did you see this? I will say, yes, I saw this. Yes, officer, I saw this. I saw the collision. I happened to be waiting to cross the road, and then I saw this collision. Which car is at fault? And I can say, it's the blue car, not the red car. It's the blue car which is at fault. And the police will ask me, how do you know? And what will I say? I saw it with my own eyes. This is how we talk. I saw it with my own eyes, not with somebody else's eyes. My own eyes I saw it. I heard it with my own ears. I tasted it with my own mouth. And so like this, I have the Pratyaksha Pramana and the other Pramanas which I operate, I have full Shraddha. Do you see what Shraddha is here? Shraddha towards the Pramana is best seen with the attitude with which we deal with our own eyes, our own ears, our own tongue. So you can blindfold somebody and then put something, a fruit, and then eat it and see, what is this? You can't see, but you have to taste the fruit. This is pineapple. How do you know? I know because my taste buds tell me this is pineapple for sure. And so like this, I back up the Pramana completely. I have total faith, and then I back up the Pramana because I know that it will deliver. Why will it deliver? Because I think that I operate these Pramanas. Whose eyes are they? My own. Whose ears are they? My own. Whose tongue is it? My own tongue, my own eyes, my own ears. And I am the one. Who am I? Pramata. I am the Pramata, and I operate various Pramanas that are in my own hands in order to know Prameya, objects to be objectified and brought to light. This is what I have to do. So, this also includes inference. First type inference, what is that called? Anumana. Second type multi-step inference, Arthapatti. Upama. Upama means comparison. All this I operate. Anupalabdhi, I operate. I am the one who is operating these Pramanas because the Pramata is intact. The Pramata, which is the Ahankara, which is now morphed into the status of the Pramata, is sitting in the throne, on the Antahkarana throne, and then saying, dispatching the eyes, go find out what this is. Dispatching the ears, go see what is over there. Dispatching the olfactory nerves, Go see if there is a bhandara and some jalebis are being fried. Go find out what is there today. And so I am the one who is doing it. And who is this I? The unshakable knower. So what's wrong with that? The unshakable knower keeps on knowing things using the pramana at his or her behest. Whatever is there in my hands I use, and this is how I deal with the universe. What's wrong with this picture? I am separate from everything. And that separation causes anxiety. As long as there is pramana vyapara of the ahankara as pramata and the pramana, vyapara means the deployment of the pramana by the pramata towards the prameya, the deployment of the means of knowledge by the knower towards the what? Towards the objects of knowledge. As long as that is there, what happens? The vision of division does not cease. Samsara is made stronger and stronger. Each time the pramata prameya division is kept, it's like samsara is going to the gym and strengthening its muscles. Why? Because division is samsara. Samsara is nothing but division, a vision of division. And I am not happy because the pramata goes about on the lookout. What can I kill? What can I catch? What can I conquer? Like that, who was that said that? I came, I saw, I conquered. I think it was Julius Caesar. Yeah, okay, Caesar, yeah. So, seize means grab, okay, that's why his name is Caesar. He who seizes, okay, yeah. So, this Julius Caesar said, I came, I saw, I conquered. This is all our bestial vasanas, not best vasanas, bestial vasanas, because previous life, big cat, tiger, puma, what else? A lion. I came, I saw, I catch something, I kill it, I eat it. This is how it is. And then even though we have been blessed with a human body, these samskaras don't die. They are still there. So like Julius Caesar, my orientation towards the world with the help of these pramanas that I am happily juggling in my hand, I came, I saw, I conquered. Now that one's done. Next. I came, I saw, I conquered. That's done. Next. Next. What's next? What's next? What's next? And if the same orientation towards the Kaivalyopanishad, towards the Kathopanishad is there, then what? Will the knowledge take place? No. I can't conquer the Upanishad. I can't conquer the latter half of the Veda. I have to be conquered by it. I have to be conquered by it. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyah na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yamevaisha vrinute tena labhyah tasyaisha atma vivrinute tanum swam. Just because I am present in the teaching situation. With who? I have brought a friend with me. Who is the friend? Pramata. Catcher, conqueror, knower. The knower that wants to see, catch, conquer. And so if I have a friend in the form of the Pramata, then what will happen? Even though I am sitting in the pravachana, it is not going to bless me. Na ayam atma pravachanena labhyah. This atma is not gained by just listening. The attitude with which I listen is important. Na medhaya, not by my own intellect. Na bahuna shrutena, not by going to various gurus. Let's see what this ashram is teaching, let's see what that ashram is teaching. Some curiosity will be there. And Rishikesh has so many ashrams. Let me go here, let me go there, let me see what's going on over here, there. That also is not going to be fruitful. Why? The I is, as the pramata, is still front and center. Still in the picture, is the hero of the story. And then, more like a villain, I should say. Yeah. And then, so therefore, the second line of this mantra says, Yame Vaisha Vrinute, the one who chooses to know. Chooses to know here means chooses to be conquered by the Shastra rather than trying to conquer the Shastra. Chooses to know. Tena labhyaha. For by that person, this Atma is gained, as it were. Tasyaisha eva Atma vivrinute tanum swam. The Atma shows itself to that person who chooses to know by not being a knower. This, I always say, knowledge is that which does not have a knower. It's a knowledge without a knower. And so therefore, in the first instance of the 5 pramanas that are in my hands, I am the operator of the pramana. And then in the second instance, where the study of the Shastra is concerned, I have to be operated upon. And this the ancients knew very well. That even the second verse of the Guru Stotram says this. Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Namaha unto this Guru, who is great. Why is this Guru great? Because for this person suffering from a cataract of duality, suffering from the vision of division, suffering by the cataracts of ignorance, the Guru takes the scalpel of knowledge and performs the surgery so that I can finally see what is the reality that is in front of me. Very beautiful. So I have to be operated upon. So the Shraddha is very different than the first portion. The Shraddha towards the first portion of the Veda is who is the one who is doing the yajna for family well-being, for example? The pramata. The pramata, the karta pramata are similar. I become karta then because why? I know the effects of this, then I become pramata, then I become bhokta. Karta, bhokta, pramata, same thing, same status. Little small differences are there, that's all. So who is doing the yajna for family well-being? Aham, pramata. Karta. First time pramata, I know that if I do this yajna, something wonderful will happen. Then pramata becomes karta. I actually sit and offer the ghee into the fire, how it is said. And then after that, what do I become? Bhokta. I become the experiencer of the results. Pramata, karta, bhokta. So the first portion of the Veda keeps the pramata intact, does not question the pramata. In fact, it is based upon the pramatritvam, kartritvam. The whole first portion of the Veda is addressing the karta, addressing the bhokta, addressing the pramata. That is what it is doing. It's addressing directly bhokta, karta, pramata. It is not doing anything else other than that. And so therefore, it is keeping the pramata intact because it is giving the pramata what the pramata wants with the help of the pramana. And in the second portion of the Veda, what is happening? The knowledge is coming to swallow up the pramata, swallow up the karta, swallow up who else? Bhokta, swaha. That then only we can talk about Advaita. Otherwise, how there is Advaita? If I am the knower of Brahman, then the of means what? No, this Brahman is separate from me. I say, aha, what a wonderful Brahman. What use is that knowledge? If this Brahman is away from me, then it will just be like going to heaven or admiring something from afar. So the second portion of the Veda swallows up the pramata. So you see how the Shraddha is different? So the Shraddha in the first portion of the Veda is different because here I keep the pramata alive. I keep the karta alive. I keep the bhokta alive. I fan the flames of kartritvam, bhoktritvam and pramatritvam, knowerhood, doership and experiencership are kept burning alive because it is based on that alone. All the things that are revealed by the first portion of the Veda is based on the keeping these statuses alive. The first portion of the Veda talks to me who is separate from my desires. All the desires are there, they are separate from me. I am a wanting person. That the first portion of the Veda will not remove, no matter how much Shraddha I have. So do you see the two types of Shraddha which is very different? First one, it is sheer belief that there is a heaven, that if I do this I will get wealth, that if I have this I will get some good future. And in the second portion there is no belief. It's a reality that I have to discover. So the Shraddha is different. In the first instance, Shraddha is blind and total. In the second half of the Veda, the Shraddha is trust pending understanding. That is the first difference of the Shraddha. Second difference between the first portion of the Veda and the second portion of the Veda is that the pramata has Shraddha, that the pramata will gain whatever he or she wants. In the second instance, the pramata has Shraddha, that the pramata will be obliterated in the process of this gaining the knowledge. The decimation of the pramata is the rise of the knowledge in the second instance. That's why this pramanyam, the status of the Veda being a pramana, is very difficult in the second portion of the Veda. Very, very, very difficult. Why is it difficult? Because I don't want to let the pramata go. I am attached to myself as pramata. I am attached to myself as karta. And then I am attached to myself as bhakta. Why should I give it up? So therefore I want to go and get it, go and get it. I become a go-getter. You can't go and get the Brahman. You can't go get Atma. Why? It happens to be you, number one. Number two, it is not away from you. It is not an object that you can go and find out and get. This orientation has to drop. I have to be conquered by the Shastra. I have to be seen by the Shastra. I have to be conquered by the Shastra. I can't see the Shastra and want to conquer the Shastra. It cannot be that. Just like a person cannot stand on their own shoulders. Can you stand on your own shoulder? Huh? Maybe because of there is a yoga asana. What is that called? Huh? No, Sarvangasana, no, that's a shoulder stand. But then somewhere you bring the legs. Vrishchikasana, yes. You bring the legs from the back and put them on the shoulders. That is how close you can come. It's an advanced pose. Not many people can do, okay? So you can't really stand on your own shoulders. So similarly, you can't intuit what the Veda is trying to tell. You have to go, in fact, you have to go away for this knowledge to take place. You have to be in a place of receptivity. You have to go away as the doer, knower and all this because, you have to, what should I say, like a cry babies, they put something in the mouth, like a little pacifier, yeah. You have to put a pacifier. 3 pacifiers you have to get, one for the pramata, one for the karta, one for the bhokta. And they should just be enjoying, sucking on the pacifier, and you just sit and receive the teaching. Because the pramana comes from outside and because it threatens to decimate me, I am scared of Vedanta. See, if all your fears of Vedanta are because of this. Every single fear we have. And as though this is not enough, then this guru, how suddenly this guru? Okay, fine, I will sit and receive the Vedanta. I will sit and be transformed. But then this pramana rides on the shoulders of the guru. Why? Why you have to bring this new entity called guru? Suddenly one has guru allergy. Oh no, don't want guru. I want to get this knowledge apne aap. What is the meaning of apne aap? All by myself. That's why it's called self-knowledge. It has to be gained by the self. By the self, if you gain, what will you get? A headache, that's all. I always tell the person who says, I want to read the Upanishads on my own, please do that. Keep one crocin and some water, okay? Keep one paracetamol and some water, because you're going to get a migraine. That's what you're going to get a big headache. If you start reading all the translations, what will happen is a headache. So now the interpreter of the Upanishad, in keeping with the tradition, is the guru. And who is this guru? The guru is somebody. One should take heart with this idea, with this understanding, that the guru is somebody who was just like you, who went through the same difficulty, who went through the torment of self-ignorance, and has now gained this knowledge from his guru, from her guru, from his guru, from her guru, all the way to what? Sadashiva Samarambham. This knowledge began with Sadashiva, with Dakshinamurti in the form of Lord Shiva, and then Shankaracharya Madhyamam, for which tradition Adi Shankara is a bright comet linking us to the past, who is in the middle of this lineage. Asmad Acharya Paryantam, up to my own teacher, I salute the entire lineage of gurus. Because this is a guru heavy knowledge. It's like the guru is a tour guide in the forest called the Upanishad. A forest where it is easy to get lost and fall on in some brambles, fall on a bed of thorns, get hurt, get lost. Already one is lost, and already I know I am lost. So why do I want to lose myself again in the forest of the Upanishads? So therefore the guru is important, because what the guru does is turn the Upanishad into a pramana. The Upanishad is pramana in a latent form. The Upanishad has the potential to become a pramana. When does it come alive? When it is handled by the teacher, it becomes a pramana. So the pramanyam of the Upanishad, the pramana status gained by the Upanishad, is Guru Mukhat, from the mouth of the teacher to the ear of the student. What transpires is a miracle. That transmission is the conversion of the words of the Veda into a live pramana. That is why it is important that the Shraddha here is different from the Shraddha accorded to the first portion of the Veda. First portion of the Veda, if I believe, it's enough. I don't have to question myself. I don't have to question that I am a doer. In fact, it is meant for the doer only. I don't have to question myself as the knower. I don't have to question myself as the experiencer and the enjoyer of the fruits of action. All that is intact. Here I have to question myself completely. I have to be willing to be led. And in the first portion of the Veda, for the study, for the gain of sadhya vastu, there is no need for a teacher. There is no need for a teacher. Why? Because it is like a book of recipe. Recipe book. Recipe book doesn't need teacher. It is very objective. It says, okay, 2 parts milk, 1 part sugar, and then some nuts and some other things. And then you have kheer, payasam. So like this, it is very clear. The recipe book does not need an interpreter, but the recipe book also indicates what? That if you want to have the dish, what do you have to do? Buy the ingredients and actually prepare the thing. You have to prepare the dish. There is doership and doing involved. The recipe book does not fill up your hunger unless out of frustration you eat the recipe book. That's the only other exception. But other than that, the recipe book will not fill your hunger. What do you have to do? You have to follow the instruction. This is exactly how the first portion of the Veda is. No guru is needed, no intermediary is needed. Maybe the Pandit to help you do it, that's a different thing. You pay the Pandit, you don't pay the Guru here. So, in here, the Guru is an integral part. Integral part in the sense of negotiating the forest of self-ignorance. And the forest of self-ignorance is presided over by the knower, the ahankara that has morphed into the knower, doer and experiencer. And all these three fellows have to be suspended first with a little bop on the head, the blunt instrument. Like this, they should be able to, see some birds like in the comics, birds and bells going round and round. And once they are stunned, then only the knowledge takes place. Then only the ahankara, bereft of these three titles, these three, what is that called? Kirita, through these three crowns. The crown of pramatritvam, the crown of, what is that? Bhoktritvam and kartritvam, when those crowns are gone, when the pramata does not raise its ugly head, bhokta, karta are all stunned. Then the ahankara, bereft of these statuses, not identifying as these statuses, is easily led to seeing the truth of itself as parat param purusham, that Brahman alone I am, easily led. Because these three fellows are what? Nuisance. They come in the way. They come in the way of this knowledge. These Trimurtis have to be suspended. And that is the job of the Guru, to stun the Pramata, to tie up the Karta, to dispatch the Bhokta, and to make sure that there is nobody standing in the way of the knowledge. More we'll see later. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo